What's good, R&B Squad? This is Heart of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If the Lord recently led you to this channel, welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. I have quite a bit to unpack in this word for those of you whom it is for. And for those of you whom it is for some of you, it is going to tie into the word that I put out in the community post in the wee hours of this morning. Today is Saturday. For some of you, it's going to tie into that word. For others of you, it is going to tie into the word that I put out recently, the one titled, Your Wedding Day is Almost Here and You're Not Ready. For those of you who have not seen that word yet, I am going to link it in the description box so that you can have a look at it, okay? So I'm going to start with Genesis 41:32, and then I'm going to get into the word. Genesis 41:32 reads, And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. So this word comes from a prophetic dream and also from a song that the Lord has been placing in my spirit for the past couple months, and that I have been shelving. Because like I mentioned to you guys in a recent word, there are some things that I shelve because there's so much that the Lord downloads to me that sometimes it's not that I mean to shelve some of the things, but some things just get shelved. And then the Lord has to remind me, you need to put this out. So the song is going to tie into this word as well. And this word comes from a prophetic dream that I had. Do you guys remember? Oh, and this is also going to tie in to the what was it? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Right, this is going to tie into the word about the man who had grown the mustache and the ripe fruit. This is going to tie into a lot of different words. I'm going to try to look for all of them and link them in the description box, okay? So you guys can go back and listen. So anywho, let me get to the dream. In this dream, this lady was standing in what looked to be her bedroom, okay? One thing that I noticed about this lady is that she looked very rosy. She was glowing. She basically looked like someone who had just given birth. And there were parts of her that looked full and supple, if you guys know what I mean. So she looked like she had just given birth, okay? She had that just given birth glow, new mom glow, okay? So there's that. The other thing is that this gentleman comes to her window and he starts talking to her. What I notice about this gentleman is not only are there ripe fruit close to him, but he has a full beard. And I remember looking at him as he was talking to her, and I was just marveling at his beard. I was like, how long did it take him to grow that? And so neatly too. I mean, just the way he had it, the way he kept it, it was so wonderfully groomed, and it took him so well. So I was just staring at this man's beard, okay? He had a full, lovely beard, and he was talking to her. And then he left, but I had the feeling that he was coming back, that he hadn't gone very far. So he had just come in, looked through her window to check on her, and then he went off somewhere and he was about to come back, okay? And in the interim, while he was off somewhere, the woman looks at her phone, and all of a sudden, right before her very eyes, her screensaver changes. Do you guys remember that dream I had where the woman's kingdom spouse had changed her screensaver? So this is going to tie into that word as well. The woman's screensaver changes, all right? And she's just standing there looking at the phone, like almost dumbfounded, like what's going on here? Why is my screensaver changed? And before that, there was a picture of just her. That was her screensaver. It was just a picture of her. Okay? Now, she tries to go into the settings of the phone to change it back to what it was before. But all of the settings have been changed. Everything has been changed. So the entire phone and its setup and everything is different, okay? So then she puts the phone down because she realizes that she can't change it back to what it was before. And she notices that there's this backpack on her bed. The bed that is facing the window where the guy just spoke to her, okay? So she picks up the backpack because it wasn't there before. So she picks it up and she starts to unzip it and look on the inside. And on the inside, in one of the pockets, there are these two paper hearts. Two cutout hearts. It could have been paper, it could have been Bristol board, but what I know for sure is that it was two hearts, okay? And they had been neatly slid into a tiny pocket at the front of the backpack. And then she finds this handwritten note. And the note says, "It is me. I am coming." And she understood that that meant that the same person who had changed the settings on her phone, which was her kingdom spouse, was the same person who had put that backpack there, the same person who had put the two hearts in the backpack, the same person who had left the handwritten note. But now let me tell you what happens to this woman, okay? This woman, there's a lot of different conflicting emotions that she's feeling at this time. There is desire. I knew that she was thinking that and feeling that very strongly, that there was desire. There was a lot of desire for this man. Matter of fact, before he even showed up at her window, she was thinking about him. And in a very intimate and touching way, okay? So there was a lot of desire and a lot of love for this man. However, when things started to change around her, the backpack appearing, the note in the backpack, the two hearts, all the settings on her phone changed, the screensaver on her phone changed, I also felt that she felt very strongly. And let me just explain this again for those of you who are encountering me for the first time. The Lord allows me in these dreams to sense what these people are thinking and to feel what they are feeling at the time. So it's like I'm feeling their emotions while they're experiencing it. It's a very strange thing sometimes, but you know what? The Lord does what he does. Anywho, she feels a lot of conflicting emotions. One of them is a lot of desire for this man, a lot of love for this man. But at the same time, when the settings start to change around her, the settings on her phone, the screensaver on her phone, the backpack, now it's things that are not just representative of just her. Do you understand? It's things that are representative of them as a couple. That's what the two hearts were as well. She starts to feel, one, as though her space is crowded, like her space is being crowded, her personal space. That's one of the emotions that she felt. And the other emotion that she felt, besides the longing and the desire and the love for this man and feeling like her space was crowded, was that she also felt nervous. There was a nervousness to it. And so she dropped the backpack. She kind of backed away from it a little bit. She didn't get rid of it, but she backed away from it just a little bit. And that was the end of the dream. So let me break that down for you guys, okay? First of all, this is going to tie in, like I mentioned before, to the dream about the woman's kingdom spouse changing the screensaver on her phone. Now this time, this woman's kingdom spouse didn't just change the screensaver to things that were different from what they were before. He changed it from things that only reminded her of her to things that were representative of them as a couple. But he also changed all of the settings on the phone. So there was no way she could go back to the way it was before. Okay? Then there was the backpack that he put there on her bed. A bed is a very intimate thing. A bedroom is a very intimate space. Okay? The backpack was put on the space. He was looking through the window at her into her bedroom. So this signifies that this man, that and this woman have not come into union just yet. Okay? But the man is standing at the window and he wants to come in. He had every intention of coming back. Okay? And the other thing is that this man had a full beard. A full beard represents maturity, being an adult, being grown up. Okay? And the ripe fruit next to him. Ripeness also represents maturity, readiness. All right? And the Lord took me to Ephesians 5:25-31. Let me read that for y'all. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourishes it, and cherishes it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Praise God. Listen to me, sis, whoever this word is for. That man was standing there with a full GQ beard. Do you understand me? Groomed and everything. Looked like it had taken him time to grow it. Time and care to grow it. Then he had that ripe fruit next to him. For whoever this is for, this man is Ephesians 5 ready. Okay? He knows that you're a Proverbs 31 woman, and he is an Ephesians chapter 5 man. He is ready, and I'm not saying this. You're not saying this. He's not saying this. The Lord is saying to you, this man is ready. Do you understand the seriousness of that? If the Lord has his stamp of approval on this guy's state of readiness, you got to have confidence in that, sis. Okay? He's not coming back to play around. He's not playing. He is ready. Okay? And the backpack on the bed. Now, when you have a backpack, it signifies that you're going somewhere. You don't just have a backpack for no reason. When you have a backpack, it usually indicates that you're going somewhere. You're getting ready to travel somewhere. You're leaving where you are and you're going to another place, all right? Now, I did not see a rucksack. Do y'all remember that word I put out some time back where I said that I saw in the spirit these rucksacks like the ones that soldiers carry? And they had said these people that were carrying them, these men and women, they set the rucksacks down. I did not see a rucksack in this dream. I saw a backpack. Let me explain the difference between the two. Now, a rucksack is what you carry as a soldier when you're in survival mode. It's got all kinds of things in there. Basically, your life when you're at war is contained in that rucksack. So it's a heavy thing. It is heavy sometimes. Okay? On the contrary, a backpack is not meant to carry heavy loads. When you wear a backpack, it means you're traveling light. So for whoever this is for, when Rebecca was ready to go with her husband, when Isaac came to get Rebecca, she was traveling light. So you need to let go of whatever baggage, whatever heaviness that you feel in your spirit, because you cannot go into this union with that heaviness. You're supposed to pack light so that you could go on your journey. All right? Now, this woman feeling like this man is infiltrating her space. Let's have a talk for a minute, my sisters in Christ. Let's be real honest with ourselves. Last night, or this morning actually, in the community post, I asked you guys, are you really ready when these men come to you to make you their wives. Are you ready? And for many of you, you may feel as though you are. But the Lord has to be showing me this thing repeatedly, this running theme of this woman either feeling as though she's not ready, or she's being caught off guard, or she's not prepped properly, or in this last instance that her space is being infiltrated or crowded. And so she backs away from it. Okay? Now let me tell y'all how the Lord has been emphasizing this. I was reading a book. The name of the book is How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Okay? It is by Jillian Roberts. I think that's the pen name she goes under. And if you guys like, I could link it in the description box as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do that. It is a whodunit, like a mystery novel. But at the very end, I just randomly selected that book and started reading it out of boredom the other day. And at the very end of the book, the main character, this man that she had been trying to come into union with for some time, finally put a question to her about moving forward with their relationship. And she panics when he does that. And then she says, could it be that I am the one who wasn't ready all this time? That I thought it was him, but it was actually me? Could it be that I never thought that it would actually get to this point where he would actually be serious and ask me a serious question about moving forward? And I was floored. I put that book down. I threw that book, y'all. I said, Lord, you had to come up in my book that I was reading out of boredom too, because you had a message that you wanted to put out. I said, okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you. So let's have a serious conversation for a minute, my sisters in Christ. Are you guys really ready? For some of you, you may know deep down when you search your heart that you're not completely ready in some areas. For others of you, this lady felt like her space was being infiltrated. She almost felt a little bit suffocated. That's what it is. That's the word I was looking for. And for some of you, you're going to understand with the song that is attached to this word. It is called Free by Denise Williams, okay? And the Lord particularly highlighted the first verse. He highlighted the first verse to me more than anything else. And it goes, whispering in his ear, my magic potion for love, telling him I'm sincere. And there's nothing that's too good for us, but I want to be free, and I just got to be me. Okay? And you guys can look at the lyrics for yourselves. I'm going to link it in the description box. You can listen to the song for yourselves. But it was particularly the chorus and the first verse that was highlighted to me. And for some of you, this isn't going to apply to every one of you that this word is for. But for some of you, you may have been that woman that didn't really glorify marriage. Okay? It wasn't something that you had your heart so set on. You were focused on your career, on bettering yourself, maybe on furthering your education, different things. But marriage, when it came to marriage, you were like, even though you're a woman of God, and even though you're serving the Lord, you were like, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you were content and whole as you are in your singleness. And you basically said at one time or other, if this happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Marriage wasn't something that you put on a pedestal. And then all of a sudden you meet this brother. And you fall head over heels in love with him. And this might be the first time that you might actually be taking marriage seriously. Actually seriously considering it. But deep down, even though you love this man, there's no doubt about it. The woman in the dream, she was in love with this guy. I felt it. But the hesitation, feeling like her space was crowded, Could it be that that's how some of you are going to feel? That you're going to be a little bit hesitant and a little bit nervous because now your whole life is going to change. All of the settings on her phone was changed and she couldn't change it back. It's not going to be just you anymore. Your place is going to be, you're going to have to leave your place if you have your own place where you're probably really comfortable doing you. Now you got to go. Now you're going to be living with someone in your space. And no matter how much you love that person, that is a big adjustment. So for some of you, there may be some cold feet there that you didn't even realize what happened when this person returned. But at the same time, be reminded that the woman that I saw looked like she had just given birth. She had a new mom glow. She was glowing. She was mature too. You're ready to be a wife and you may not even know it. For those of you who may be hesitant, for those of you who may be feeling a little bit like, okay, this is all a bit overwhelming, or that's how you're going to feel when this man comes back, because child, he's coming in hot and heavy. He is coming in hot and ready. Okay? He's not joking around. So for some of you, you may feel like everything is moving a little too fast for you. There was no movement before, and now all of a sudden there's all this movement. Some of you are going to get engaged like that when this person comes back into the picture, or when he comes into the picture, for those of you who haven't met your person yet. And you might feel overwhelmed. This might be prepping you for how you're going to feel when that time comes around. But the Lord is saying to you, and that's why he showed me that woman she had that glow and that nurturing vibe about her. Sis, you're ready. You're ready. Even though you've been focused on your career, even though you've been focused on everything else, you are ready to be that Proverbs 31 wife. You have God's seal of approval as well. You're going to make a good wife to this man. So the hesitation you may feel, the feeling that this man is going to crowd your space, he could never crowd your space, because at the end of the day, the Lord sent him. He is sent by God for you. So those feelings that your space is going to be crowded, those feelings that might come up, that's just the devil. Rebuke it right away when it comes up. And for others of you, you might be swearing up and down that you're ready. But the Lord has something else to say. So for those of you whom the former situation that I just described doesn't apply to, this part may apply to you, okay? Go sit at the Lord's feet and ask him to empty you and show you where you still need to get ready. What parts of you still need to come into readiness? It would be very easy to harden your heart against this word and say, you know what? I've been waiting all this time, and now nobody can tell me that I'm not ready. Listen, the Lord is saying what he's saying. Go sit at his feet, especially if this is convicting your spirit. Go sit at his feet and find out from him, where are the areas that you still need to prepare in. Let me think. Is there anything else that I have for this word? I don't think there is. It was already pretty long. So for whoever this is for, if there's anything that I left out and the Lord reminds me of it, I'll put it in the community post, okay? But I hope that this word blessed somebody. And I love you guys, and I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.